Hi everyone, it's Sintang Mayumi here. I have card sketch collab with my friends Helen and Cherryl today. The card sketch for this month swap is from Mojo Sketch 536. I used the stamp set from Art Impressions Greenery Invite set. We'll begin with stamping our image. I chose this wreath stamp from the stamp set and I thought that wreath is so pretty. I'm using my VersaFine Onyx black ink here because I'm going to color this with my Zig markers and also my Daniel Smith watercolors. And the paper I'm using is 140-pound Canson XL watercolor paper. Here I'm showing you the paints that I'm going to use on my background. I'm going to use the paints that has shimmer, so my background will have that shimmer effect. I will just add the color around the wreath and inside. It's nothing fancy on how I did this. And I let the paint dry for a few seconds or minutes. And I will color the leaves with my Zig markers. My cards are going to look like vintage looking cards when I finish them. I didn't plan them to be vintage looking, but because the card bases look vintage, I think it did pull that vintage look all together. I'm going to let you watch the coloring part and I will be back when the coloring is done. And here are my colored wreath. I also colored a small circle on the bottom of the paper for my circle sentiments. After the colors are dry, I added my crystal and diamond stickles on the leaves and set them to dry completely. Now we need to die cut them with the dashing circles from Elizabeth Craft Designs. So I chose this size of circle and I'm going to also die cut that circle paint on the bottom with the smallest circle from the set. For my pattern papers, I will use the 6x6 My Mind's Eye Stella and Rose paper pad. I got this paper pad years ago at TJ Maxx for $2 and I really like these colors of or patterns on this paper pad. As you can see, I already used this paper pad. That's the one I'm removing from the pad, and I think I used this patterns before for paper piecing. I really like the patterns on this ones. It's really pretty vintage looking. For my card bases, I'm going to use this the Paper Studio card set that I got from Hobby Lobby the other day, and I got it on sale, so here you go. So these are the ones that I'm going to use for my cards. I cut my pattern paper to 5.5 by 1.5 inches, and I'm going to adhere them in the middle of my card bases. The measurement of the strip of paper on the sketch is 5 1/4 by 1.5 inches. Mine is longer, so it will go across on the sides. I can cut them to 5 1/4 inches if I'm adding another layer of panels, but I'm not doing that because I don't want to cover the pretty patterns on my card bases. So really, the card bases save me some papers. For my sentiments, I will use a stamp set from Colorado Craft Company, big and bold, called Perfume Bouquet. I will use 3 sentiments from the stamp set: sending you happy little thoughts, enjoy your day, and thinking of you today. So I'm going to stamp them on the circles with VersaFine Onyx black ink, and these sentiments fit perfectly inside that circle that we die cut earlier. And now we need to adhere the circles on our cards with liquid glue. To pop up my circles, I use scraps of watercolor paper, or sometimes I use cardstock scraps. It's just happened that I have a lot of watercolor scraps, so that's what I used. And I think that will give me enough dimension on my circle die cuts. I'm going to send these cards in the mail, that's why I don't want them to be bulky. For the inside of my cards, I use this Elizabeth Craft Designs dashing rectangles to die cut my light colored tan cardstock. And I will adhere the banners on the upper left corner of the panels. I cut the small scraps of pattern papers into small banners to add inside the cards. I think that looks a little bit nicer than plain die cut. And the last thing I need to do is to embellish the cards with this iridescent clear sequins. I just added 5 of them and scatter where I think it looks nice, and I'm using micro glue dots to adhere them. And my cards are complete. I love how these cards turned out, and I really like the vintage background papers. And my colored die cuts are so pretty on the cards. Don't forget to check out my friends' videos and see what they created using the card sketch for this month's swap. I will leave all the links in my description box below. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.